Live. I'm JC, and I'm so thankful and honored to be joined by two people who I look to a lot. One of them is Davide over there. He is the creative director for Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure, and this is Xavier, who is the producer. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Hey, thanks.
Thanks a lot for being here again this year. It's an honor.
Are you kidding, man? It's our honor to have you. You know, tell you what, we're going to show off a little bit of the new DLC you guys just announced, as well as some features. So, you want to take it away?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. So, so this is a brand new adventure we've been working on for almost a year now. When we finished the game last year, and we had some tremendous feedbacks and support from all the players that love the the mix between tactical combat, exploration, the adventure part with Mario. Well, we decided to start to work with Donkey Kong, and with first prototypes, and see how combat could be changed. But also, like you see on the screen here, we wanted to completely change the environments, the details, things that we thought were really, reminiscent of the Donkey Kong's lore, and that was important for us.
Nice. And, a lot of the details, I think, are what kind of make me laugh every time me and my SO, my significant other, play the game. Is you see a lot of, I have to ask, is that Beepo?
Yes. We decided to use him as a motorcycle, electrical motorcycle.
So are we sure that Beepo is okay with this?
He was complaining at the beginning, but now it's okay.
Because, Rabbid Cranky is like a mix between a rabbit and a Cranky Kong. So he's acting like an old man, but he's not. He's completely unstable. And so when he saw Beepo, he said, hey, this guy could be useful, not to follow, but to go over, so that we can go quicker. So yeah, we had a lot of fun just to go in directions that we didn't take in the past with Mario.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of that, the attention to detail is really something that super appreciate. You could tell that there's a lot of love and a lot of care that's being taken with the characters and the world and how you interact with it. So really, really exciting when I got my hands on this. I was really floored by how much detail there is. So thank you for all of this. I really appreciate it.
And this jungle part is indeed a good example that we wanted to show today. Everyone knows Donkey Kong for the jungle part, and but our goal was as well to show our version of what we love from Donkey Kong, but also with the mix of the rabbits. So this level is the third environment in the Alien, and it shows how massive things are and the attention to details. I don't know if we'll have the time to show the wildlife and how they interact with you compared to the main game, but at least it shows to all of you just the amount of things that we wanted to share and put, things that move, interact with you, the viewpoints like this, and we had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, as you're shooting around, that DK touch with those barrels, as you're shooting around, I'm thinking to myself, it's pretty big. Like, you haven't repeated any section yet of like going back and forth. So I think there's a lot to be said. I think there's a lot here.
Yeah, and we wanted to have this feeling of a puzzle inside the environment. So you go in and you don't know exactly where to go, so you have to find your way. And this is something that we wanted to work compared to what we did in the main game. So yeah, we're changing the structure as well in the way you explore the world.
And we decided to take a lot of time to build the environment around this mysterious island. So even just taking a pause, so you are just immersed in the beautiful world with all those wildlife around you, searching for secret, puzzles, chests. It's big. It's very big.
Yeah.
We started out okay, we will do a nice DLC that is about 3-4 hours of gameplay, but then we get carried away, and at the end we built something that is half as big as the main game.
Wait, you just say half as big as the main game?
Yeah. It's a super DLC.
This isn't something you just put together like in a couple of weeks or something. Okay, that's a lot.
As a producer, it was a great challenge to keep Davide from going too crazy, but in the end we managed to go for what we believe was interesting for the players and see something new. Because last year when we started to think about Donkey Kong, what he could bring to to the adventure, we felt that it was more than just a skin or just an appearance in the game. It had to fit within the environment. And when we worked with Nintendo of Japan, to really get the feeling of combat as well, it was really key that we bring something new, or else it would not be possible to work on such an adventure. So yeah, it came up to big content. Because we wanted an island that really feels like Donkey Kong, that's for sure.
And the details don't stop there. As Davide is right here showing off a little bit of the characters. You want to talk a little bit about Donkey Kong? Yeah,
so Donkey Kong is the hero that we all know. He's really powerful, like in other games, Donkey Kong games, or Super Smash, or even in Mario Kart. He's always the big guy. And in our game, it's pretty much the same, but his movement is also one of his main aspects. Rabbid Peach is coming back. She's really, great character with her healing techniques and dash, and also she really fits well with the two other characters
and
that
she always want to bother other people out, like we can see here.
Yeah, and Rabbid Cranky, of course, another rabbit. His interaction with Rabbid Peach or Beepo or even Donkey Kong is always super surprising, and we had tons of fun working on their relationship. And this is something that, that's what we wanted to do.
It's so good. That is so good. Yeah, I think there's a part of me that probably, Rabbid Cranky is probably my spirit animal. So very much how I feel a lot of the time.
And you have it on your shirt.
Yes, awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite little lapel pin here. Ooh, some weapons I see.
Yes, basically we
Wiener Whacker.
We reworked all of them from scratch. So we invented new weapon for all the new characters that we're using in DLC. And many of them are inspiration taken from old decay Donkey Kong games. So you will see a lot of
oh yeah, it's the
weapons inspired by the animal body that Donkey Kong games provided. And all of them are doing something completely new. So you have the banana rank for Donkey Kong, then you have other kind of weapon for the other characters. Each one of them is different, and of course, we have the skill tree to switch your play style once again. It's completely new. It will act on your moving abilities, in your attack phase, in your techniques. So once again, it's a new experience. We wanted to provide something new for the players, and I think we did.
Yep, and I think, remember, you can always reset these skills, so if you kind of go down, that route, and you're like, oh, I need something else, or for a certain particular battle, because the battles are different in this game, you can feel free to respec.
All the battles are different in this game. None of them is equal to each other. So this one is very tactical-oriented, the one that Xavier is about to play. There are those new enemy archetype called smugglers that are trying to reach the end of the battlefield to flee away with the corrupted bananas that they are carrying.
I see.
So Xavier now is about to use the synergy between those three characters, and especially Donkey Kong moving abilities, to try to stop them to reach the end of the battle.
And so to kind of get here, if you're either seeing this for the first time or you're not familiar with it, the objective is those guys are carrying those bananas trying to get to the end goal, and your goal is to try to stop them.
Absolutely. And you can use Donkey Kong new moving ability, so he's able to swing throughout the battleground, jumping on the sprint pad and swinging throughout the dandelion. He basically is a game changer for the combat system because he can drop enemies, drop teammates, drop cover, and throw them where the player wants to. So you can help your teammate in reaching further area of movement, or you can just grab a cover, carrying the cover throughout the battleground and throwing it against the enemy. And of course, if the cover is an explosive one, it will explode on an enemy and apply the super effects, such as owning them, burning them. So
yeah, and I would notice that Donkey Kong's ability to pick up some cover or to pick up a character or anything like that, that comes during the move phase. So you don't burn like your attack. You can still attack afterwards. So that's really powerful if you know how to to use it the best you can in the map.
And you have to watch out as well everything that you do in the game. So this is typically a good example here. We're going to play in a way that you usually play when you want to defeat all the enemies. So you want to shoot them all the time, use the super effects if you're making them. Here, for example, I'm using the React Stink Eye from Rabbid Cranky to defeat him as he was going to hit Donkey Kong. But if you play in a way that is just the usual way, maybe it's going to be hard for you to finish this type of map where they're really running to the objective in a way that you need to watch out. So I'm going to play it that way, and you'll see what can happen and the pressure I'm going to start to have if I'm not really changing a bit my game plan.
Because every weapon comes with a super effect. And super effects are there to help your tactics. So some super effects are there to stop the enemy. Some other super effect could bounce them away or push them away. So Xavier is using types of weapon that could be dangerous for this type of combat situation. Because the main risk is for Xavier to shoot at an enemy and pushing him all the way through nearby the end. So it will be not beneficial for him.
And I think that it's what I also really appreciate about this is, you know, after playing a few maps, it is different. You can't just approach the battles the same. You have to think differently. You have to really think about the abilities of everyone involved to make sure that you are making the best and really working towards that objective. You know, this is this is almost what maybe I see maybe this is the second or third map I've seen, and even then, you're actually handling it differently than I did, and I'm just like puzzled, like, I wonder why you're making these decisions, and I'm like, I'm seeing it now, like, oh gosh, that's so smart.
So today, yeah, we wanted to be chill, so I'm not even playing the way, I'm just trying to show everything, and I'm going to play differently all the time, and Donkey Kong really brings that as well. It's something where, because of the dandelions, of the grab, and, you know, it's something that it changes all the time. So I'm just having fun right now to show what we can bring, but every time it's different. And here, for example, typically I'm having a weapon I love, push, and every time you can use it, you can push the enemy.
And we're doing this on purpose.
Yeah, but in the end, it can be very dangerous if you start to play like that, because they could be pushed in the zone that you want to avoid to be pushed in.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you gotta watch out.
Yeah, exactly. So here, for example, the enemy is far away, so he's about to go to the zone. So I'm gonna hit him. He's gonna go in almost in the pipe because he wants to grab me, but at least he's going afar from the zone that I wanted to go for.
And the ink is very useful because even if it's someone that is going to hit you back, if you shoot at him, the ink is preventing him to attack you. So this is very good.
So here I did a big mistake. I didn't manage enough the third phase, the third, you know...
that upper section over there?
Section, exactly.
Yeah.
And in the end, it's going to cost me potentially the match itself. But again, you have to potentially replay, but see, hey, maybe this time I could do this with this character instead, and see what it brings. And that's the way we want to play as well. And even if you like Donkey Kong and use it all the time, do stuff like this, like, oh, okay, I'm going to grab him, I'm going to send in on the enemy, it's actually something you need to watch out because you have rebound, and then maybe this could become like an issue afterwards. So you always have to watch the way you're playing. So for example here...
Yes, you just lost.
Yes, because of the... No, because in fact he was defeated in the process. So that's the way, you know, you have to play to make sure that, yes, you know the techniques, you know things that you didn't know before, but it's something that you need to watch out because sometimes the objectives will be completely different. And it's not just about defeating the enemy like here, it's about as well trying to reach for the enemy and not go in the zone where you're going to be defeated.
But of course, there are not just the smugglers in this area who just arrived at the end, so I was right.
Right, there you go.
Because he didn't take too much attention to
Thanks for pointing that out, Davide. I wasn't... He just got rocked. Oh, man, that was
really
worth it. That was worth it just to see that right there. Just, oh, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to change a little bit the strategy here because I know I have the pressure from Davide, so I need to...
Can I give you a suggestion? So we have a very nice tool to use before starting a battle, which is called the tactic count.
Yeah, how's that changed? I believe it's a little different this time, right?
Yes, so basically Xavier is going to change his tactic, but the tactic count just at the beginning of the battle is helping the player to see the battlefield structure, to plan ahead his moves. So by moving the tactic cam throughout the battlefield, Xavier now can notice which kind of enemy and where are they, and that there are three main axes where the smugglers are trying to flee away. So it's not just about the smugglers, it's also about a new archetype that we introduced in the Donkey Kong Adventure, which are the summoners. Summoners are not super fun to play against
They don't
because,
sound fun to play against.
Yeah, they are summoning additional enemy every turn, and they can also heal their teammate.
Got it. So you can't just go, okay, I know the map, just hit fight. Like, you really should use the Tacticam and understand, you know, all of the parameters, all of the enemies in the map to make sure you are addressing all of them in the right order and in the right way. So don't just click fight. That's what I usually do. I need to stop that.
Yes, exactly. So Xavier's approach now is completely different. He's using Donkey Kong moving ability to drop the enemies and throw him against an explosive cover. And because the explosive cover has this on a super effect, he basically stuck them on the battleground for one complete tour. So that part of the map is now safe. And he's going to do the same now with the deployable, which is carrying the same kind of super effect. So throughout the pipe, he will be able to reach the smugglers at the other end of the battleground to block them as well.
I see.
So now I start to be way more in control. It's not the only way to do it, but that's the way I like to do it. Is to really try to catch the third axis with this deployable. And also with Donkey Kong, a big mistake would be to attack here. You have to prevent yourself from always attacking. So first of all, I'm going to send Rabbid Cranky in the middle, so at least those two guys are either glued or very close to me. I'm going to put, for example, Stink Eye. I'm going to try to defeat the guy that is really close to me. And that way, he's not going to be able to hit me if he comes at me. And I even inked him, so anyway, I'm safe from any harm.
And because Xavier spent very well his power points in the skill tree, he basically was able to make Rabbids Cranky react twice instead of once.
So I'm not going to attack here because what could happen there, they're glued, but if I hit them, they're going to be bounced. And they could be bounced because of the angle closer to the zone where I'm going to lose like last time.
I see. So really got to think before you act.
Yes.
And make sure the order in which you act also, because I just realized that if you did, you know, Rabbid, Cranky stuff, if you chose any of those things and not the order, you wouldn't have gotten all those opportunities to hit.
Exactly. So you have to think about which character you want to play first. And those summoners as well, one technique could be to defeat them at the very beginning. Some players could do this because they could summon new units very, very quickly. So it's up to the players to decide, well, this could be my strategy this time. I'm going to try to defeat all of them. Then I can also change. I don't need Rabbid Cranky to stay all the time there. I can go, grab him, put myself in cover, send him up back here.
Okay, you're blowing my mind. Hold on.
And what is very cool is that Rabbids Cranky is able to shoot mid-air during the team jump, as you see, no?
And
so
that's specific to him,
it's
right?
a free attack during his movement phase. So you can use Donkey Kong to grab Rabbids Cranky, shoot him mid-air. He will shoot against the enemy, and then he can jump, team jump again with one of his teammates and shoot during the team jump again, and then he will be able to attack again during his attack phase. So it's quite complex. The synergy between the heroes is key to win out the map.
Oh, wow.
So here I use the combo of Donkey Kong's React to defeat all the enemies, go out of boundaries. But here what I can do is, okay, I'm going to optimize, I'm going to dash this guy, go back here, and actually, oh, it's just a bit too far. So I'm going to change a bit the strategy. I'm going to try maybe to defeat some of them, but maybe it's not going to be possible. So I'm going to be here. I know that every time I'm shooting the smugglers, they'll try to come at me, which is fine. But if, for example, I'm shooting those guys, it's not going to be enough to defeat them. But in order to avoid having issues on the next round, I'm going to use a technique that only him has here to keep those guys out. I'm going to put them to sleep with a long story.
It does say long story. So
yes. So basically, Rabbids Cranky is telling such a long and boring story that the enemy fall asleep.
You know what? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's a very, very nice way to ground control the enemy.
Yeah, I can't help but think there is actually someone at work that's very similar, that tells really long stories. Yeah, his name is Bill Trinan. It's pretty, you know, long stories, put you to sleep.
We love Bill.
Freezes people in place.
Bill will be happy to hear this.
Don't worry, I'm sure he'll watch the VOD at some point. And he'll probably write me up for it.
So now I'm almost done. Now the enemies are sleeping, so I'm less stressed. The third axis is done. The summoner is trying to, you know, act himself and just try to hit us as well. I put the shield up in case, so I'm reducing the damage, which is good. And this time I just need the last enemies to be defeated, which should be fine here. So this guy, I'm gonna dash him here, and then just one left. And it could be cool to finish with style, so I'm gonna check in terms of damage. I'm not gonna be able to defeat him, so maybe if I shoot here, he's defeated, so it's fine. So with style, with ink, with Rabbid Cranky.
Oh, that's okay. That is super, super, super clever.
So as you can notice, basically in the second round, Xavier had a complete control over the battle output. By using the synergies between the heroes differently, it was completely changing his experience in terms of how to face this challenge offered by the battles.
So we saw a lot of the. So we saw a new, a new map. We saw a couple of new, like type. I think they were called the Banana Smugglers. There was a new, like the Smugglers, I should say. There's a what else? We saw a lot of cool new weapons. We're seeing a little bit of the, the environment's been changed. I mean, really, there is an incredible wealth of content here. That's not, that's not just normal. I mean, half the game is not a normal thing. So I think for anyone out there that's really interested in this, I think you may want to really take a good look at it, because I'm totally day one on this, and I know a lot of people are, and yeah, it seems like a must-have.
Yeah, and we decided to add so many new objectives. Even this one we're not going to play today, but just to show destroy bad bananas spots, but you see how many enemies are around. So you have to make the right choices between defeating the enemies, using them, or defeating using the objective, which is defeating the bananas spots, but it's up to you to do it. And I think the DK adventure is all about your choice of playing all the time. So that was our objective in the team since a year.
Awesome. Well, in that case, let me see. Anything else? Good? We're good? You want to play some more?
Sure.
I think.
Absolutely, yes. So you have all the mission objectives that are completely different from one battle to another. You have puzzle all around the environments. We added a new kind of puzzle. Some of them are even musical puzzles. So you have tons of stuff to play with. The experience will be around 10 hours of gameplay. And then you have all the extra challenges that will be unlocked at the end of the story. So players will be kept busy for quite a long.
Fantastic. All right, it looks like I'm getting the call here, but again, thank you so much to Xavier, the producer, and also Davide, the creative director
It was a pleasure.
No, the pleasure's all ours. For, again, Mario+Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure, and that is coming this month, isn't it? And it's actually quite soon. Am I wrong?
Yeah, just in a few days, on the 26th. And for those who have the Seasons Pass, we decided to go for one little extra day before, so on the 25th.
Sweet. So I'm totally getting it on the 25th.
Great.
Sweet.
Thank you.
All right, well, until...